Episodes 4 to 6 of Andor Season 2 just flipped the table on everything we thought we knew. The Gorman massacre, it's already happened. And that one shift changes the entire trajectory of the rebellion.
What's the obsession with Gorman? What are they after?
I don't know. I'm trying to rethink this all with her in the picture. It doesn't make sense.
What makes this arc so powerful isn't just the historical rewrite, it's what comes next. Because now, for the first time, every piece of the rebellion is in motion. We've got Saw Gerrera operating from Dakar, Luthen's network pushing to unite the rebel factions, Mon Mothma brushing shoulders with Director Krennic, and even Cassian stepping deeper into the fight.
Kill me or take me in. You're in!
But the fuse isn't lit yet, and when it goes off it won't just ignite the rebellion, it might burn the entire foundation down. Today we're breaking down how these episodes reshape the Star Wars timeline, deepen the ideological divide within the rebellion, and set up the event that could push Mon Mothma to finally denounce the Empire. This isn't just where the rebellion begins, it's where it gets messy.
We'll all be dead before the Republic is back, and yet here we are.
Before we jump in, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on today's video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to make sure you don't miss any of our Andor Season 2 coverage. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into it. Alright, so the first 3 episodes of Andor Season 2 cracked open a dam. Now episodes 4 to 6 are where the flood really starts. After a year of simmering rebellion, the cracks are showing on every side. And if there's one thing these episodes make clear, it's that the cost of fighting back is only getting higher. Cassian's story sets the tone perfectly. After losing Brasso on Mina Rao, you can feel the shift. He's sharper, harder, and way less willing to sit back and wait, but he's also become way more protective of what he has left. He's still the rebel who will one day steal the Death Star plans, but right now, he's fighting battles that are much closer to home. Every choice he makes, every risk he takes, you can feel the weight of it piling up.
You sure you don't want to talk about it?
And it's not just his burden, it's the price of building something bigger than any one person. Meanwhile, the shadow of Gorman is growing heavier. The Empire's strategy is clear now. Bait the locals into a fight, crush them, and sell it to the galaxy as peacekeeping, and whether they realise it or not, Cassian, Luthen, and everyone else fighting from the shadows are walking straight into a trap, or maybe it's one they're willing to spring themselves. The thing is, even knowing the danger, Luthen's not stepping back. If anything, these episodes show just how far they're willing to go, and how much they're willing to lose to make a stand. Which makes you wonder, doesn't it, when the spark finally hits Gorman, will it be the thing that ignites the rebellion, or will it just burn everything we've watched them build this season and a bit to the ground? Because let's face it, the Rebel Alliance is vastly different to the version we have right now. Anyways, Cassian and Bix are now hauled up together in one of Luthen's safe houses, but there's no sense of safety here. Bix is officially part of the cause now, but she's barely holding it together. By day, she's present, she talks, she moves, she functions, but at night, the trauma creeps in. The memories of Dr. Gorst haven't faded, they've just been buried. And to get through it, she's started self-medicating, numbing herself just enough to sleep. Cassian sees it, all of it, and where Luthen sees a resource that needs fixing, Cassian sees a friend, well, more than a friend now, who's breaking. That difference in perspective starts to drive a real wedge between them. Cassian's more protective than ever, not just because of their past, but because he knows exactly how far this fight is pushing her. Luthen, on the other hand, goes behind Cassian's back to try and send Bix on a job solo. Now, when Cassian finds out, he storms straight to the shop and confronts him, walking through the front door, just like Val did in Season 1, breaking protocol, breaking trust. Luthen answers, and what follows is a blowout of sorts. He tears into Cassian, listing every failure.
Kill me or take me in. You're in!
The mess with the Gorman front, the reckless decisions, and it's clear. Things between them are fraying. But yeah, that's not the only thing on the edge. Over on Gorman, the rebellion isn't just simmering, it's boiling over. Cassian was sent there to assess the Gorman front, but the first meeting's a disaster. He doesn't trust them, they don't trust him, it's awkward, it's cold, and there's no shared sense of purpose. Cassian walks away, ready to cut ties, but Luthen doesn't give up so easily. He sends in Val and Cinta, hoping their real-world experience can stabilise the group and show them how to operate like a proper cell. And for a while it seemed like it might work, until it doesn't. One mission, a hijack of an Imperial weapons transport, goes sideways fast. A nervous rebel panics during a standoff with a local, misfires during a scurry, and chaos erupts. In the middle of it all, Cinta is killed. Just like that, a key piece of Luthen's network's gone. So yeah, it's a brutal reminder that not every rebel group is ready for open conflict. We touched on it last week with the Maya Pay Brigade, but this carries a far heavier cost. Not every victory comes without sacrifice. Which makes you wonder, if Gorman's already this unstable now, what's going to happen when the Empire makes its real move? Anyway, here's the twist that changes everything. The Gorman massacre It already happened. It's not in the future like most of us thought, but 16 years ago, right after the formation of the Empire.
16 years ago, Grand Moff Tarkin killed 500 peaceful, unarmed Gormans.
There's even a monument on the planet, a stone-cold reminder of the lives lost when Tarkin landed that ship on top of the peaceful protesters. But Gorman's not resting in history. The Empire's back, and this time they're building an illegal armory in I's view of that scar. And here's where it gets interesting. Dedra Meero, as we know, has been reassigned to oversee the sector. Now on the surface, this looks like punishment. Everyone inside the ISB thought she was done after the Ferrix disaster. But Lonnie, still deep undercover for Luthen, flags the move, and even he's confused.
Why Gorman?
I don't know, I can't believe they've kept it so quiet.
Dedra isn't the right profile to oversee this operation. She's a hunter. So why put her in charge of Gorman of all places, unless they're planning something far more sinister? Meanwhile, we've got Cyril Khan deep undercover and climbing. He's taken a transfer to Gorman, not because he's being cast aside as his mother believes, but because it's all part of the plan. His office is bugged and he knows it. And when the ISB's tech team sweeps in, he doesn't panic, he plays the part. Pushes back just enough, acts like he's not totally loyal to the Empire, and it works. The Gorman rebels start to see him as one of them, a potential ally, maybe even someone they could turn. But what Cyril doesn't realise is that he's already being used. He wasn't in that high-level meeting with Krennic back in episode 1. He still believes he's gathering intel to stop a rebel uprising, when really, he's helping bait one.
Cyril must never know what this is all really about.
The Empire wants a reaction. They want to provoke Gorman again and crush it, this time with the whole galaxy watching. Which really raises the question, doesn't it? What happens if Cyril starts to believe in the people he's supposed to betray? What if, after all this time spent working amongst them, he sees the truth? And as far as the massacre being moved earlier in the timeline, sure, it's going to upset some fans. But from a story perspective, it enhances everything, because now we're in uncharted territory. We don't know what's going to happen on Gorman next, or what might spark Mon Mothma's final break with the Empire. Could it be a second catastrophe? Could someone major die there? Whatever it is, the road to rebellion just took a sharp, unpredictable turn. Now back on Coruscant, everything teeters on edge. Trouble's brewing in Luther's antique shop after Kleya picks up a scrambled signal from a bug active in one of the artifacts they sold Davos Golden.
I want it inspected and recertified. Everything!
He's furious, not because of the bug, he doesn't know about it just yet, but because another of the artifacts has turned out to be fake. And he's now having every item in his gallery authenticated after the party. You see, once those inspections begin, it's only a matter of time before someone traces it back to Luthen's store. And that doesn't just risk exposing him, it risks unraveling the entire network he's built. Like, why was Luthen spying on Davo in the first place? That's one of the first questions people are going to ask. Davo is powerful, well-connected, and probably vengeful. The moment someone starts pulling that thread, the trail leads straight to the shop, and if they search it, if they find the tech, their hidden comms, the frequency scramblers, it's game over. Their only shot is to retrieve the bug before anyone discovers it, or they've got to disappear. But luckily, they'll have a chance to do it during Davo's annual party, when the entire gallery is on display. But this is where the fun begins, because this party isn't just a backdrop, it's a power keg. Mon Mothma arrives with Perrin, Lonnie's there, so's the ISB, even Director Krennic shows up, and in what will be one of the biggest talking points of the arc, Bail Organa greets Mon and Perrin, but he's been recast.
Perrin, Bail, how are you?
I'm free.
Which feels strange considering Jimmy Smits was just in Obi-Wan 3 years ago. It's one of those choices that pulls you out for a second, but the scene itself still makes sense in the context of the story. Anyway, as Davo gives Mon, Luthen and the Imperials, including Krennic, a personal tour of the artifacts, Kleya moves to extract the bug, but she's not alone. She forces Lonnie to help her, pressuring him into it despite the risk.
This is do or die, Lonnie, so move to your left.
And with some of the Empire's most dangerous people in the room, it becomes a race against discovery. One wrong move and everything they've spent years building could collapse. However, somehow they manage to pull it off. Kleya gets the bug, walks out clean, and the tension lifts just for a moment. Luthen turns to her and says that they probably should have killed Krennic while they had the chance. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment of humour, completely out of place, and yet so fitting for how close they just came to disaster. But still, with all these power players in one room, you have to wonder, was this just a close call, or is it the beginning of something much more explosive? And if Krennic's presence is any indication, how long do they really have before the Death Star begins to cast its shadow? Anyways, just as it feels things really can't get any more fractured, the cracks in the rebellion really start to show. Mon and Luthen share a rare moment of tension. She brings up Val, says she hasn't heard from her in a while, and Luthen dodges, of course.
She's probably just being careful.
He always does. He doesn't like connections, he doesn't like that Mon and Val are cousins, he doesn't like couples either, Bix and Cassian, Val and Cinta. To him, personal ties are liabilities. People are much more effective and useful when they're on their own. And maybe that's what makes him such an effective leader, but also makes him cold. Empathy gets shoved aside for strategy. And while he may be holding this whole network together, the costs are slowly catching up. It makes you wonder, did he once have someone, like a family, something he already lost that made him this detached? Because if so, it would explain why he pushes everyone else to sever ties too. But how long can that hold before everyone else starts pushing back? And to be honest, we've started to see that already. Now, we then shift to Saw Gerrera, who's operating out of Dakar, the same planet the Resistance will one day call home. Willman's there too, the same kid who built the bomb on Rick's Road back in Season 1. Luthen sent him to Saul to extract Rhydonium using a device he built, but in classic Saul fashion, he keeps Willman around against his will.
You're here till I get what I need.
What starts as a teach lesson quickly spirals into something much darker. Will's ordered to teach one of Saul's men how to use the equipment. Turns out the man was leaking intel to the Empire. Saul doesn't hesitate, he kills him on the spot and immediately evacuates the base. But yeah, it's another rebel cell nearly lost, another close call, and another reminder that even within the fight for freedom, trust is fragile, and betrayal is always lurking nearby. And then there's Bix. After everything she's been through, she finally gets her moment. With Cassian's help, she tracks down Dr. Gorst, the man who tortured her, and straps him to the very same device. She turns it on and walks away. No hesitation, no monitoring, just pure, unfiltered justice.
It will only feel like forever.
But it's a brutal kind of justice, one that makes you pause. Is this closure, or is this something else entirely? Could this moment actually help Bix sleep better at night, or will it go on to haunt her even more? So we've seen the rebel networks compromise, friendships splintered, and leaders start to unravel. And with all this tension building beneath the surface, you have to ask, how long before it all explodes?
We're drowning. You keep pretending it's all under control.
Are you done?
Could all of this tension be leading somewhere? Because whatever's happening on Gorman, it still feels like the moment that finally pushes Mon to go public. And with the Death Star looming in the shadows, her stand might not come too late, but will it come at a cost? So yeah, episodes 4 to 6 didn't just push the story forward, they detonated it. Rebel factions that once felt like scattered sparks are finally starting to catch fire. Saw Gerrera, Luthen, the Gorman front, they're not aligned yet, not really, but they're circling the same flame, and sooner or later, someone's going to strike the match. The Gorman massacre might technically be behind us, but his shadow is all over these episodes. The Empire isn't just rewriting history, they're using it. They know there's no love lost with the Gormans, they're weaponizing tragedy, turning oppression into a PR campaign, and worst of all, it's working. Cassian, though, is changing. He's not the man we met in Season 1, he's more focused, more involved, but he's still clinging to Bix, to a sense of personal loyalty that Luthen sees as weakness. But maybe that's the difference, maybe that's why Cassian becomes the rebel who can unite people, not just command them. Luthen might be right about the cost of attachment, but Cassian's proven that the son doesn't have to be sacrificed. And now that we're halfway through the season, the rebellion is finally taking shape, but so are the cracks. And the question isn't just who's fighting, it's whether this expanding network can hold long enough to win. How many more pieces have to fall before we see the shape of the Rebel Alliance we know? Honestly, if I had to guess, next week might be the tipping point. I'm talking Saul and Luthen on the same page, briefly, then the following week may be the fracture, maybe even Mon's extraction from Coruscant. You can feel it coming. Like we're about to hit the moment where the rebellion stops being a whisper and becomes a declaration, and whatever form that takes, it won't be quiet. So what do you think finally pushes Mon Mothma to go public, and do you think it will come in time to stop the Empire's next move? As always, drop your thoughts, theories, and wilder speculations down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming ones. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one, and may the Force be with you.